Welcome to the South Charlotte Sports Report live broadcast tonight, coming off just a not a great day for Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools and Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools athletics. I think it was something we might have all seen coming with such a lack of leadership going on there, but CMS pulled the plug for the next 3 to 4 weeks on sports that were in season right now. No one else will be practicing, and also punted the football down the road again, not letting kids come back into school. Yesterday was 10 months that Charlotte Mecklenburg schools have had the locks on the doors for middle school and high school students. Now you know it's going to be 11 months, and if anybody out there really believes they're going to go back in February, you're not following the situation very closely. It'll be a full year plus before you see Charlotte Mecklenburg schools properly unlock the doors for their students. I've asked a couple of people to come in tonight and join us, so we'll see if anyone does. I've got a couple of people here now, but want to make sure they've got their video camera turned on before I bring them in, and just it's an open forum. You can look on my Twitter right now at SC Sports Report, and you can see the address for how you come right into this link right here. If you have anything you want to share, anything you want to talk about, we will talk about it. It's just in scanning the internet, people are upset. They're not happy with what's going on right now. It's they saw Charlotte Mecklenburg schools punt the football back in the beginning of the year with promises to get started in what we all knew was going to be the worst time for this virus. I think people could handle a little bit of a shutdown right now if we had been in school all year, if athletics had been going all year, but it hasn't happened. So far today, not one single word that I know of out of CMS Athletics Director Sue Doran. I don't think that's probably much of a surprise. I'm not sure that most folks would know that is the athletic director, but she's been it for quite a long time. Then you also have, I have not seen this. So if it happened, so be it. But I have not seen anything where they've apologized. They've told people they're sorry. They've told the kids, we're so sorry this has happened. But that didn't happen last spring either. All of this got pulled out from under the rug. Never heard an ounce of sorrow from the North Carolina High School Athletic Association when they did it. These bureaucrats are folks that will have their jobs year after year after year, while your child only has a certain number of years to play high school or middle school sports. Take a typical 8th grader right now. They've now had no athletics for 2 years out in the spring season. And then this year, nobody got any sports from Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. You cross the county line, which is about 3 or 4 miles away from my house. They are full bore going at it. Their kids are in school. They're playing sports. They've got a leader. You see that Mr. Houlihan on the internet every day. You hear him talking. It's leadership. It's a desire. It's what I call a path to yes. And they have done just an amazing job in finding a path to yes. And it's not happening with Charlotte Mecklenburg schools. Had a big meeting today. One person went to fight for your child, and that was Sean Strain. One person. No one else fought for your child. Sean did. Sean called it like he saw it, and I think everyone that wants to have sports going and have their children back in school after 11 months, 10 months, needs to thank Sean. He was the only one that fought for your kids, but that's been the way for a while. It's the leadership that we have right now is just so incredibly unique, for lack of a better word. It's someone was telling me earlier today that Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools is one of the 25 largest school districts in the country, 25 largest cities in the country. Do you think that our elected leaders are among the 25 best in the state, in the country? Do we have the type of leadership here that matches the size city that we are? It's a question only you can answer. A lot of you folks are, it looks like, you're here in the chat with me. And if you do want to, I want to make sure I got your video up before I bring you into the chat tonight and let you just share everything. So if you want to come in, make sure you turn that video on and I will bring you in to talk. I was talking to a basketball coach a little while ago. I guess at best, if everything went the way that the dates are written, but I won't even say anything there, you could have possibly 3 more games and then the state playoffs. But you're not going to practice the next 3 weeks. You're not going to be ready to go. I did notice that Wake Forest, that the Wake County system had a big meeting today, and they elected to keep sports going. You know, it's not just about sports. Yes, I'm the South Charlotte Sports Report, but where in the world has choir been all year? Where has marching band been all year? Where's theater been all year? Why has there been no effort to make those go? It doesn't make any sense. And it's just such a shame. Not a lot I can add to that. I feel for you. Most of you know that my family is a spring sports family. We played 5-6 games last year, March 13th. Took the 2 weeks to slow the spread. That was it. Spring sports were over. And I'll never forget the tears that flowed in this house for not just that night, but for many nights. And I'm sure that's probably happened in some of your homes. You're worried. Is your sons and daughter, are they ever going to play another varsity basketball game again? Are they done? What's going to happen? I don't know. Will the other sports begin on time? Who knows? In order to get back going with sports, Superintendent Winston is going to have to, he's the only one that can make that call. I don't think that the positivity rate and the metrics that they're using will change much in 3 weeks. That's what a good friend of mine that's one of the top doctors in the area tells me, that the peak as far as numbers is not going to come till the end of February. So I don't know what's ahead, but it does look difficult based on the decision that was made today. Just looking around at some of the questions that have come in here. Let me see one that I will pick out. What does this mean for volleyball? My understanding is that if you are in the volleyball playoffs, which are in the second round right now, you are going to be allowed to finish it. And that's wonderful. But if we're going to let volleyball go for the week, 2 weeks, why is everything else going to end right now? Swimming, I don't have the answer to. I think they were at a conference meet level right now. Are they going to be allowed to go regionals and state? I don't have an answer to that yet. The communication pieces that have been put out on this are not that strong, so I do not have the answer there. I know that anyone else practicing right now, that's it. It's you're not going to practice for 3 weeks. Clearly, you're not going to go inside the school either. Let's see, next question. What do you think about sports that are still on the schedule and moving to South Carolina? Listen, I told a lot of people that, especially for football back in the summer, that I would certainly look to South Carolina. Obviously, it's too late to go to South Carolina to play football now. Your only choice of playing football now is to hope that it happens here locally. You can't transfer out of the state or to a private school. They're already done. So I can't answer that question for you. I would have gone earlier if I was a football family. What do you think of lacrosse, which is just now starting, possibly losing 2 consecutive seasons? Well, lacrosse, you were the fall guy. They threw you into the dead middle of winter for your sport anyway, knowing that it would be a tough time, but no care whatsoever they had already blown up one of your seasons. So, you guys are going to get the short end of the stick again. If I were you, I would find a way to go out and do it on my own. There is a path to yes. There is a path to doing it on your own. What do you think basketball teams should do? Let me throw this idea out there. I think what CMS should do, show some good faith. Yes, these people's seasons have been blown up. 25% of your teams may get to go forward and play some playoff basketball. What I would do is put together a 6-game schedule once you do let them come back, and then play to a city championship. That's what I would do. Give everyone 6 more games. You're going to stay here in Mecklenburg County. You're going to play to a city championship. And don't leave the JV teams out of this either. Those guys and girls count as well. What role did Gibby Harris play in all this? A big role. I think, from what I'm told, CMS, the school board, was probably going to vote to put kids back in the classroom. And then at 5 o'clock, 1 hour before their meeting, Gibby put out a press release calling for a 3-week directive that wasn't a lockdown. It was a directive to stop schools, stop sports, all kinds of things. And she caused one heck of a mess. And I think that provided the cover that was needed. And from there, just about everybody is shut down. There are a few private schools that are staying in person and are still playing sports. I commend those, but they're probably going to have a target placed on their back going forward while they're out there while they're playing, and 90% of everyone else in Mecklenburg County isn't. What do you think of the decision to close outside parks to organized activities? I think it's a joke. That's something Gibby Harris has done. She obviously believes it's safer to be inside of a restaurant with a lot of people, to be inside of Lowe's, to be inside of the Home Depot, to be inside the Charlotte Douglas Airport. That's safer than 6, 8, 10 of us going out on a baseball field and playing a little bit of baseball right now. That's the kind of logic that we have here locally. Safer inside, dangerous outside. I'm only repeating the facts. It's up for you to analyze that. I asked multiple school board members to come join us tonight and didn't get a response. No surprise there. I'm going to reach back out to the chairperson, Elise Deshoe, and ask her if we can have a one-on-one coming up here soon, and just talk about what's going on. As everyone here knows from watching my videos over the last year, even if I disagree with someone, I'll be incredibly fair to them and get their point. Let them make their points, and I think my history of videos will show that. Let's see. Looking for other questions that may have come up here. Let me take a look over at my Twitter and just see if there's anything new that has come in there. From Sean Strain, volleyball and cross country cleared to complete. Superintendent has canceled swimming and all others cleared to return until cleared to return. Well, that means swimming's done. Swimming's over with. But I thought Gibby Harris said that she told me on an interview, the safest place you could be in Charlotte was inside of a swimming pool. I got Gibby on video saying that. Confusing. Very confusing. I just, a lot of these people are getting paid a lot of money. You've got a county manager making big time 6 figures. I'm sure that Gibby is as well. And most powerful person in Charlotte, for sure. There's no doubt about that. That is her. So no, she's not in Charlotte very much. So I think she lives in Asheville or somewhere up in that area. Comes down here, I don't know how many nights a week, but most powerful person employed by Charlotte Mecklenburg. How's that? That might sound better. Let's go back to that swimming thing. I'm still kind of confused on that. I thought that they were to the point of where they only had regionals and state left. So we're going to let volleyball finish in the playoffs, but we're not going to let swimming finish where they're at. I, I, I just shake my head because none of it makes any sense. This has been the most confusing 10 months for anyone in their life because they've tried to figure out, well, if this is safe, why is this dangerous? And none of it really adds up. It's probably like everything else. You just follow the money and you can figure it out. But my concern, as it always has been, is for the kids. So my direct message to those of you that were dramatically affected today, be upset, cry, hug your parents, hug your friends, do whatever it takes to grieve, but do not grieve alone. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt bad, but be there for one another and talk to one another. I really, I don't understand how all of you are hanging together by loose strings for knowing now that it's going to be 11 months since you've been allowed to go inside of your school. That 7 people have kept you locked out of your schools. Yeah, I was talking to someone just a little while ago, and their theory is it's not the health metrics as much as it's they don't have enough bus drivers, they don't have enough cafeteria workers, they don't have enough custodians right now. I don't know what the truth is. The only truth I can tell you is that you're going to be a complete 11 months before you step inside a middle school or a high school classroom in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. I know it's frustrating, but I will tell you this, you've got some incredible people fighting for you that want to return to play sports, that want to go back inside the classroom. And let me add, whether you want to be inside the classroom or both fully remote, you have that choice. And I am 100% behind you having the choice of what you would like to do and what works best for you. I have seen both the private school and the public school setups towards this. They're dramatically different. I have watched what's going on in Union County, and it's dramatically different from what's going on in Mecklenburg County. I wish I had the answers. Special note to the coaches. I am sure you took this blow just as crushing as some of your kids, because I know you live to be around your coaches, be around your players, and coach your players and compete. We'll get more organized and see if we can get some very special guests on here that can tell us more. I really, really, really want to make sure that I get Sean Strain to here for a one-on-one, and I'll line that up directly with them. Here's a few more things come up. Conference meet tomorrow at Providence High canceled. Swimming. Redemption can change it. I'm not sure what Gus means by that. Redemption can change it. So they're at the conference meet level, not the regional. So essentially you had 3 meets at best left, and with each one of those meets, it would be less and less people. Most CMS swimming conference meets were scheduled for tomorrow and Saturday. Said no clarity on postseason. Mecklenburg Aquatic Center just closed on 3 year-round swim teams as well. Yeah. Let me see if I can get back to where I was. I had a bunch of comments. Let's see. There we go. Scott, I know Scott from up in, he's kind of nervous about what could happen with Iredell County. You have a little bit different approach up there. I'll give you a little bit of a break. They're still playing. Lake Norman basketball play tonight and looking for replacement games. That's the tough part. Lake Norman and Mooresville in that conference, they just had everything blown up on their schedule. They're going to have to play each other 6 or 8 times, or somebody will jump in and play them. But hopefully you guys can get that worked out, because that's definitely going to hurt you, as it will Porter Ridge and Hickory Ridge that are stuck in conferences with CMS schools. From Reese, thinks what you're doing, canceling middle school baseball and spring sports, is not right. You are correct. Canceling all middle school sports is not correct. That happened because there was never any planning for them to happen other than a piece of paper. You have to have a will to have a way. You have to work hard to find a path to yes. Pine Lake's game tomorrow is canceled versus Union. Listen, I think I need to say this so nobody says I don't respect the virus. I respect the heck out of the virus and have the whole time. It is real as it can be. It has been through a majority of my family, and it hit a couple members hard. I respect it. I also respect the fact that there's a lot of private schools and Union County doing very good work having their kids in school without having major shutdowns or viruses. Here's someone just texted me. I wanted to know what we are doing with our less fortunate kids in Charlotte. A lot of these kids use it for escape from their situation. I worry they will lose hope in their schoolwork. Well, you have to be careful about asking those questions because there's a couple board members that feel like everyone's not entitled to think for everyone, if that makes any sense. I'm worried too. I spent 30 minutes, was that yesterday or day before? Yesterday, talking to a middle school coach at a low income middle school. He was telling me how the only games those kids will play in their sports, some of them, will be at the school level. They can't afford to play it in other places. And how a lot of those kids live for getting to the football field and having practice or whatever the sport is. So, that's gone. Heck, they can't even live for wanting to go to middle school right now. They won't even open the door, much less let them play sports. So you have all rights to worry about every child in this area because it's a blow. And I think us as adults and kids, if there's anybody out there right now that says they're stronger mentally and happier, more emotionally controlled right now than they were a year ago, I don't know if that's true. This is taking its toll on everyone. Have to consider the mental health of kids who have dealt with this for a year. It's exactly what I just said. Kids and adults and coaches. It's not fun. Many of you know that you've seen me say that how rough it has been just on my normal business of youth sports. I've had probably 85-90% of my regular income taken away by this virus. We've worked very hard to try to find some other options, but youth sports and youth sporting events is not a good business to be in during a virus. If you have any other questions, fire them up there and I'll get them answered and then we'll get out of here. But I just want everyone to know I'm thinking about you. I know how hard it is. I do think that you have hope. There's no way they're going to keep sports shut down for the rest of the year. That's not going to happen. It probably is a 3 to 4 week pause. Justifiable pause? I don't know. We'll see what the metrics are in 3 weeks. It's a tough deal, and it's no fun. And someone said to me tonight, every kid should have the option to repeat a year of high school after going through what they've gone through, education, emotionally, and socially. You're doggone right. And if you look back at my Twitter, you'll see that I said that in March of last year. Give these kids a chance to do this over. Same thing they're doing for college kids. Don't rush them right through. If they want to stay an extra year, let them stay an extra year. Change that age rule and let them do it. Everybody won't do it, but a few people will, and they should have that option. Can teams change name and go play Phenom tournaments and school is back to play? Yes, they can. Coach probably doesn't need to be involved in it, but there's other people that can coach their teams, and that's exactly what I would do. I would go enter a tournament every doggone weekend. I would be putting team games together. Just because they're not going to let me play in my home gym doesn't mean that we can't go find us some jerseys that say something else and play together as a team and keep going and let somebody else coach it. That is exactly what I would do. And in fact, it's exactly what myself and two very good friends in the baseball world did last year when they canceled all of our baseball stuff. We found a path to yes, and we were back playing in May. And it was wonderful. So just because CMS isn't going to let you play, figure it out. That works for basketball, but I realize it doesn't work for others. Lacrosse, I'd find a way to make lacrosse work as well. Don't count on someone else to do things for you when you can do it yourself. I do appreciate all the thank yous and stuff that are being texted right now. It's for the last 17 years, it's been youth sports for me with South Charlotte Sports Report. Granted, we're not printing the newspaper anymore because once the COVID hit, it just did not become financially feasible. But I think I've stayed steady advocating for kids the last 10 months, and that's not going to go away. And all of our events we do will continue, and we'll get back going again on the regular broadcast schedule as well. Who elects Gibby Harris? She was hired by the Mecklenburg County commissioners and manager, Dina Dorio. That's who hired her. She got a big salary, and boy, she's been made a lot of news for us, hasn't she? It was just so weird, the timing of everything she did the other day. But Gibby's telling me that it's safer to be inside a restaurant than it is to be outside playing with your kids at a ball field. Figure that out. How can they justify canceling swim dive when their state is during the I'm not quite sure what Adam is asking, but they can justify it however. They didn't end it for the whole state. They simply ended it for CMS. And CMS is loaded with swimmers that win state championships. I wonder what this means for Charlotte Catholic. I would think they can continue to compete. They should be able to. But it's a tough blow for swimming. Holy cow, especially for your top level swimmers. It was bad enough that they would only let a certain number of swimmers come to each meet. Certain number of cross-country runners go to cross-country meets. Silliness. They gave exception to volleyball, but not swim and dive. You're correct. Makes no sense. But listen, you got to realize some of these things, they don't even know what's going on. The people making the decisions. These aren't. I don't know that some of these things even get considered. So I guess it's going to be safe in the volleyball gym, but unsafe in the pool for the next 3 weeks. Oh, man. Well, I've been on here running my mouth for 28 minutes and 56 seconds. I appreciate all your questions. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit and take any questions I see. Of course, not hating on volleyball at all. Just it's just unfair it is not correct what's happening to swimming and diving. With sports being canceled, CMS, would that push back spring sports again? Baseball already going to. No, the thing is, it's not going to push back anything because the North Carolina High School Athletic Association has a calendar. They're not going to change that calendar just for CMS, I can promise you. You're going to have your 7-week period to play your games in public school, and that's going to be it, whether you're playing or not. However, by the time baseball kicks off, at least in the public schools, there's no way the positivity rate and the metrics will be like they are now, and I got to think that they won't be. So At this point, I would not be worried about that. But, just talking about lacrosse now, it's supposed to be a spring sport. They've been moved up to January, and they're going to have their season blown up 2 years in a row. It's not right. And someone asked me, why didn't they start in the fall? Well, the reason North Carolina High School Athletic Association didn't start in the fall was because the larger school systems, Mecklenburg County being one of them, would not agree to start with athletics in the fall. So the 4 months were wasted. Football should already be done and gone. That should be over with, and many other sports as well. But Jeff Taylor, praying we just get something in. These kids need it. They do need it. Parents need it. I mean, from my family perspective, I'm feeling much better about baseball this year for us happening. But I know your pain. We lost 85% of our season. And, if it's best, there's not going to be that much lost right now. But one single game lost is a chance for a lifetime of memories. No one that makes a decision is going to do anything to give it back to you. We learned that last year. We're still learning that this year. I appreciate everyone joining me. And I'm still getting some questions in, but it's 9:30. I'm going to call it a night. What I will do is, yes, Scott, for sure. What I'm going to do is I got to hook up with Sean Strain, Board of Education member, because I think that's got to be my next guest. So I'll get word to Sean that we need to just sit down and talk on video for a little while. But he's my champion of the day. That's for sure. And if you get a chance, drop him a note of thanks. You're mad at a lot of people. Don't be mad at him. If you're in agreement with what he's doing. Listen, if you are totally against everything I'm saying tonight and on the different side of the equation, and you think sports and school need to be 100% stopped, I fully respect your decision. And you have the right to that decision. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but I have 100% full respect for your views. There have been times over the last couple months where I have wanted to be in a remote situation as well. I understand it completely. And like I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again so I don't have to hear from anyone. This virus is real. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Keep distanced. Do the right thing. Many of you may think that, if I get it, it's nothing. I may not even feel it. I'm a kid. It doesn't hurt a kid. Talk to some of your friends that have had it and ask them, now that they're 1, 2, 3 months over it, have they gotten their stamina back? Have they gotten their strength back? Have they gotten their smell back? Do their lungs feel like they're at full capacity? A lot of kids don't. And it is leaving its mark on kids and adults long after it goes. So I got full respect for it. But I also think we've got to find a way to live, educate the kids, and safely put them in a classroom. And there's a lot of great private schools and Union County schools that could teach CMS a lesson on how to do that. Thanks, everyone, for joining. This has been Trip Rokes with the South Charlotte Sports Report live tonight. And I do appreciate everyone joining in. We will be doing some more discussion next week as we learn a lot more information. But say a prayer. Say a prayer for your teammates. Say a prayer for your parents. Say a prayer for the community. And let's find a way to get through there and leave you with this thought. Great leaders will always find a path to yes. Weak leaders take the easiest route to no that they can take. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.